Glad to have you back. Now, how much is a human life worth? A police report? Or really it's supposed to be sacrosanct? Well, over the years, many Nigerians have lost their lives to gunshot wounds that could have been treated and given them another shot at life.
And President Buhari has assented to the Compulsory Treatment and Care for Victims of Gunshot Act in 2017. But many hospitals haven't put this in practice. The Lagos State Police Command is therefore ready to blaze the trail by vowing to prosecute any private or public hospital in the state who reject gunshot victims because of police clearance. It has directed all area commands and divisional police officers in the state to prosecute medical practitioners who run foul of the law.
We still have with us in the studio Dr. Dan Ekere to discuss this, and joining us, of course, along with him is a lawyer and public affairs analyst, Olayinka Ola Daniels. Thank you for joining us on the show, and thank you for staying with us, Doctor.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Ola Daniels. The incident, first off, that led to the commissioner coming out to, to read riot acts to hospitals in the state. A clear example of what has happened to so many Nigerians that died untimely. Should that have even been an issue in the first place, that you must get police report before you treat a victim, even before President Muhammadu Buhari had to, put an act in place?
Well, the police report thing is actually an archaic way of going about this whole thing. Seriously, there's no law that says you must obtain police report first before you treat any patient. What we have seen in display, one, is sheer ignorance of these people. An average Nigerian does not know his right. And we are not even bothered to find out what is it that we have as our right. Ask an average Nigerian does not even understand or does not even know whether there's any section in the Constitution that gives him power, of his right. Maybe for lawyers and maybe for the few people that just, but an average, on the average numbers, they don't even know it. The chapter 4 is there. That's section 33 up to section 45 of the 99 Constitution.
What do those sections say?
It was about the fundamental human right. For an individual, you have every right. No one you can subject you to any form of brutality whatsoever.
But is that law is that what the paper is written on, really? Let's assume that the average Nigerian actually knows his rights.
Yes.
What about the hospitals, the doctors who have been trained, who have gone through formal training, nurses and other health officials, who really should know better?
Well, because as a doctor does not mean that he has that information. When people talk about people being illiterate and literate, and I ask, what is the definition of being an illiterate? Is it just because I did not go to school for didn't go past through the corridors of schools or education, and in which area? And maybe an illiterate in some areas. Maybe that doctor, yes, is a medical doctor. He swore an oath to save life first. But now there's a problem. He feels if I treat this person without medical report, tomorrow the police come and they come to arrest me. He does not even know his right to say, come, I have a duty. I sworn an oath to a duty to save life first. That whatever it is, we'll sort it out in court. No, they're afraid, meaning it still comes to cowardice. We are coward. And because we are coward, nobody is even I was opportune to be at the forum, with some of these big shots, even in the Nigerian police and some other. And, the whole AIG said, he made a statement. He said the reason why we are here, why we are where we are today in Nigeria is because most of us are cowards. Wow. We can't even face it. That's the reason why a policeman will just, cock the guns and I will shoot. And a policeman will tell you to your face, I will kill you and nothing will happen.
Unfortunately,
but they have actually been killing.
And nothing
and what do you do at that point?
Look at it this way. They have actually been killing. Yes. Now, what will you do after somebody is killed? You can't recover that life. The police are supposed to be enforcers of the law. So, are you saying that the enforcers of the law don't equally know the law? Because they are equally oppressing the people. They are doing the same evil to the people. You see, so that's part of the challenge. And again, when it comes to prosecution, who presents these cases? It's the police. So we have operated a system that has even forced ignorance on the people, even where they know. Because at the end of the day, to fight your cause, to establish your rights, is another costly thing that's chances that you might not even get.
Absolutely.
Now, how are we so sure that you will get justice when you go to court with the police? So a lot of factors, even for those who know. So they make every effort to avoid so many of these things.
Doctor, just today on one of the papers, a doctor was interviewed on the condition of anonymity. He said he used to treat gunshot victims, be it criminals, be it victims, but it would report them, you know, during treatment to the police. Only for police officers from the close police station to his hospital to arrest him one day and extorted a huge sum of money from him. And since then, he stopped. That no matter what they told him, he would never, you know, treat gunshot victims.
So that in itself, answers to the question of how did this happen? How did this even begin to happen in the first place?
Doctor, I think we need to...
I get the point.
Yeah, I think we need to break it down.
Yes, please.
For instance, the doctor you just told us about, there was no reason. If he's not a coward. See, a lot of people think...
Hold
on, I'm going somewhere. I'm going, just hold on. You see, you treated someone. You sign an oath to something. Let's break it down. I'm a lawyer, and there are other lawyers. You then go to probably to get a bill, and the next thing, why in the course of doing that, your own professional duties, you got arrested. We just had a case like that, and he was arrested. And the next thing, they didn't allow him leave. He was arraigned the next day, you know, in the same court. And all of us got there. We started laughing. What is happening here? So you are saying that even a lawyer cannot do his job. You know, I mean, I'm free of fear and whatever. What do you call it now? But then, same thing comes back to the doctor. A doctor has treated someone. Like I said, there's no reason why he should have paid any money. Let him go. You see, they don't want to go to court. Let him go to court. Yes, you said something about prosecutors.
You know the normal running in Lagos, in Nigeria, when you have an encounter with a police officer, especially at the police station.
It is because we are not still ready. We as individuals. See, nobody is above the law. Yes, you may say that, oh, will they get justice? Will they be compensated? There are instances people have been compensated with the issue of, what's it called? The Ogba incident, that a DPO shot a student, you know, they were protesting, he shot the student. Today, the DPO is serving 10 years in jail.
Isn't that because it's Lagos State?
No, not because it's...
Yeah, let me come to Dr. Danakere. Who really do you think is to blame here? Is this a reflection of our lack of regard or respect for human life in Nigeria, generally, on the part of everyone? That seems to be playing out, whether it's the police, in the way the police engages with the civil, you know, with the public, or the way the doctors will handle a patient. A journalist was, you know, actually explaining, recounting his experience on a journalist hangout, how his son had fainted. Something happened. He was unconscious. He was actually in coma, and he was taken to Luth. And they said their policy there is not to receive anyone who is unconscious. How do you explain that?
So who are they supposed to receive?
Absolutely. So what exactly is the underlying? What is at the core of this?
You know, but generally, I think Nigerians have concern about human lives. It is those, yes, because you see situations, accidents, you see Nigerians coming to rescue, you find collapsed buildings, Nigerians generally will want to come to, you know, rescue of members and all the rest. You always find that attitude. But what the challenge we have is even with those who are in position of authority. Yes, because ordinarily the police is meant to protect lives. Now, but on a normal day, even with respect to traffic issues, you will find a policeman hiding for you to commit a crime, to run foul of the law. Then the next thing is he claps on you. So their primary responsibility has shifted from preventing to arresting. Are you getting it? Now, experience perhaps is what has taught so many of these doctors
the lesson.
Yes, for them to now have this kind of attitude. we cannot leave that to the doctors to say that doctors should go to court to fight for their rights and the rest. To start with, those who are in this condition are not necessarily the relations of the doctors. They are not necessarily their relations. So for as long as they are Nigerians, I think it is now incumbent on Nigerians to rise to the occasion. Because sometimes even saving the life of that armed robber who is suffering from gunshot wounds might even reveal more about his gangs and the rest. So the moment you say don't treat him and the man dies.
But don't you rise to the occasion when you are confident that there is a system that will
stand
behind
challenge.
you
that is a major challenge.
When you stand your ground.
That was why I told you that at the end of the day, the police is going to be the one who is going to, you know, look at all the issues and present a report.
All right.
And sometimes their reports, they could do anything about it.
Okay, Lola Dennis, let me come to you. You're a lawyer, and of course, what you've been trying to tell us is that Nigerians don't even try to test the law to understand and you know get it enforced. If you go to our prisons, I'm sure as a lawyer you have enough experiences. Many Nigerians, at least some, since I went there, were practically picked on the streets and without prosecution were taken to prisons. So how do you test your right as a Nigerian, really? How do you test it when you have a police officer that says he can do and undo, and when you question him on for him not to infringe on your rights, he dares you and takes you straight to
Kirikiri. In addition to that, you actually hear that about 80% of people in Kirikiri, for example, or most Nigerian prisons are waiting trial.
Fortunately, I was opportune to work with Legal Aid Council, and I know part of the job is for us to go to the prison. In fact, there was a project on SIWA or something that we go to the prison to do interviews for the inmates to find out how some of them got to the prison. Then we find out, oh, this one has not been tried, nothing has been done, and it's been there. We take the matter, we take it up, we go to court for their bails, then whatever we have to do, we go through the cases. Now, don't forget that some of the people you're talking about, some of them, their family don't even know their whereabouts. Now, they don't know who to even talk to get across to their families. Those are the cases that are pathetic that, well, somehow, maybe when they get a family, but there are people that they have families, that they have people, they still have contact. Like the ones, even the ones that were shot dead. Like I said, there are instances of cases that even after they've been shot and they've been killed, they went to court. Their family went to court.
So that is what we want to establish. And they got compensation. That is what I want to establish. Meaning that if, even after the commissioner's announcement now, and from what we've heard of some police officers, not all of them, that some could still undermine this order.
Okay, see, not all of them this time. There are some policemen in the morning. They go and take those drinks, and already they are high. And anything they do at one second, and under the influence of the alcohol, and under anything, the next thing, the trigger, goes off, and the bullet goes off, and the person is dead. See, that is one. Two, some of these so-called policemen, I am telling you, I have had an encounter with them, I've worked with some of them, don't even know this law we are talking about. Once they have that gun and they have that uniform, they think, oh, they're on top of the world. They can do anything.
Okay, so let's even find out what exactly this law says. A person with a gunshot wound shall be received immediately and adequate treatment by any hospital in Nigeria with or without initial monetary deposit.
That law was signed 2 years ago.
It's a two-pronged law.
First off, you don't need money.
You don't need money.
Sorry, last year.
So the issue of depositing should not even arise in the first place. Then the NMA, the Nigerian Medical Association, has picked holes with this law, saying it is deficient. Saying in the case of this aspect of the law, the law is not fair on who should pay, who should bear the cost when treatment has been done.
Okay. But obviously, is the patient or his family or whoever. But again, assuming in the process the patient dies and nobody comes to...
What happens?
Yeah, so who bears the cost? Because the hospital has a management. It might not be a government hospital. And whoever is on duty that does that is going to account for...
But then you wonder what happens to Hippocratic oath of doctors take, upon, becoming doctors, because you're supposed to save lives first. And that is the promise. Promise you made.
what is actually promised about something that is hypocritic?
Nice.
There you go. Exactly what I said in the makeup.
Hypocritic.
Yes. Yeah, we know it's hypocritic.
Sorry.
They sound too similar.
No, but again, there was a point that he made earlier about the attitude of some of these police men. You see, there is a place I know. Some time ago, in the morning, as early as 5 thereabout, they will gather and take all those alcohol. Sometime later in the evening, they come as well, Now, there was a particular, policeman there, who was a bit so soft, and he was reporting a particular scene of how some persons did some things, and he just saw the thing as, okay, this one, I beg, let them go. Then the other one said, were you with a gun? He said, yes. He said, oh, he said, for him, he will waste his time.
Wow.
He will finish the person.
Wow.
That he started counting instances of such things that he has done. And I was just listening to this.
Really?
I'm telling you. This thing I'm telling you is close to K2 police station, the place where this discussion took place.
So wouldn't it have been more happening
if
we had heard from the CP of Lagos, for example, Edgar Limohimi, in the news, maybe a wash all over the place, that the CP or the police in general is carrying out some kind of retraining, reorientation of its policemen.
Honestly.
In a way that will make this law effective when it finally, comes on board, or when it has to be tested.
Yeah, but exactly. What you have said is critical to the survival and implementation of this law, because it must be from both ends. As much as you say the people are ignorant of their rights, in the same manner, the police that ought to even exercise help the people exercise this right by way of protection and the rest, are equally ignorant of the law itself. Or they are maybe deliberately being mischievous, such that they don't even want to, because they start with intimidation. So they need to be trained. The police is not the army. There should be some level of civility, because they are the ones that deal with the civil public. Unlike the military situation, but you find the police almost behaving like the army.
Well, that's why that's the reason why some of them are clamoring for total reform of the police force, because it is only a total reform that can have what we are expecting. Our expectation is total reform in the police. It's not just about changing the uniform. It's about changing them, reorientation, training. And now let's quickly take this hospital, this doctor sphere. If we run a society that takes human life, as priority, I don't think any doctor will be afraid to go ahead to treat someone. You know why? Because one, if you treat someone, whether the person died in the course of your duty or the person survived and there's nobody to pay, there's government to pay.
And you would have done your job.
Is it the same government that doctors are going on strike? And the same government, you see, it is pathetic. In a society like this, you now see, I was opportune to visit someone recently at a private hospital, and I asked, what happened? He said they were at a general hospital. And they rushed on emergency. They rushed this person to the general hospital, and the first day, the second day the strike started, and they told them, you have to leave. They have not even started anything, and they told them they have to leave. In fact, they were crying, and what are they going to do? Meaning, life is nothing to us.
That is the reality.
A lot of,
because if the government is doing its duty, is doing its job, that should, in fact, doctors should not come to say they are going on strike. It should be done, but that is life. If government cares about its citizens, cares about its people, then doctors should not have any cause to go on strike.
Other health workers
if the government really cares about
since
the people,
April.
Which means government would have provided the enabling environment, the right kind of funding that they need, and all of that to be able to do their job. Meanwhile, a 5-year jail term awaits any hospital, individual, doctor or nurse who refuses.
But I would still say, irrespective of whatever the issue is, whether you're afraid of money or whatever, go ahead, treat this person. In fact, the Lord made provisions for you to get across to the police in 2 hours in the course of treatment. In the course of treatment, 2 hours, get back to the police, do your job. If they want to come and arrest you. Then let's start. That is another step. Let's start.
Yeah, but some
since last year, since the approval, since President Buhari approved, signed this, sent its signature to the act, just last year, a little was ahead of it, even up until now, and many Nigerians had lost their lives. What do you think should be at the national level and not even state level? Because is the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, Edgar Imoyim, that's taking it upon himself, and he doesn't have control over other states, because we're just talking about Lagos alone, and this applies to Nigeria.
We still come back to this law. Do you know that we have several laws in this country that are not being enforced, and people don't even know which law, to hang on to, I mean, for their own cause. They don't even know. And that is the reason why we are here where we are. That's the reason why anybody will just go and do whatever he wants to do, be a police, be a military, whatever, and they go scot-free. Nobody is saying anything. That is the reason why some politicians will just go and deal with some people and nobody is saying anything, because we don't even know where the law is. We don't even know what. No orientation, nobody is telling anybody anything. Nobody is doing anything to even, inform. And don't forget that if you're not informed,
does the NOA still function?
Sorry?
The National Orientation Agency.
Well, I don't know. Because I'm not anything from them.
5 years, is it too stringent? Is it hitting the ant with a sledgehammer?
Well, I think that one is on the high side for, an issue of this kind. But at the same time, too, the attitude of our medical doctors is equally something that is challenging. But I want to believe that it's all a function of the environment as well. It might not be just individual issues, but I think they should equally be more concerned about saving lives. Because we've seen, I know of a situation where somebody was rushed to the hospital, the gate was locked, and I'm talking about even Luth. The person died inside the vehicle after several attempts, to call for attention and all of that. And that was the Ebola era. You get it? So they refused to attend to the person. Despite all the intervention, and the man eventually died in the vehicle. So we must have this attitude of having respect for human lives. The moment we have that, I'm sure that a lot of these things will be taken care of. But I think that 5 years for not attending to, but before the 5 years, you might even have a litigation of about 10 years before the thing will eventually.
And then another doctor made a point that before they can accept such cases, that the rule, the mental professional rule, is that you only accept cases you can manage, like patients you can treat and save their lives. Because the moment because you want to save lives and you accept just any gunshot wound person and the person dies, you become liable. And of course, the law allows them to refer cases they know is beyond them, so that you cannot blame doctors.
With that, you are going to find a situation whereby almost all cases will be referred to the general hospital.
Now provides another way.
It's going to be very challenging.
For a gunshot, I think, if not
at least
a small clinic, an average standard hospital should be able to fix that.
For the first time, they should be able.
So because what these doctors are, this is a very serious issue.
That's the word.
Because what they are saying is, if my hospital cannot handle a gunshot wound, or and all of that, and I need to refer, will that not be read?
That is the challenge with the law, because
wouldn't meanings be read into it?
Yeah, because
that I'm rejecting a patient.
The law did not tell what caliber or what class or what level of hospital
you see,
to handle this. So there's going to be a challenge.
I don't want to see it as an ambiguous section of law, because if you see, that's the reason why you have also the right to go ahead to prove that indeed I do not have what it takes.
After the fact?
Yes.
You should be able to prove
But who monitors? Who monitors? Because we talked about implementation, lack of implementation, lack of implementation earlier.
Okay. True.
Of course, we have so many laws,
there are quite a lot of challenges.
So when this happens and a doctor comes out to say that I couldn't treat him because I knew I didn't have enough equipment to do so, and I referred him, unfortunately the patient died. So would you blame the doctor?
Even the patient can as well.
You can't come on that.
No, after you referred the patient,
you would have attended.
Maybe they didn't accept the patient where he went, and they trailed.
We have said it, if it's not a small clinic, a standard hospital should have what it takes to do that. Why don't you go ahead?
How many standard hospitals are in Nigeria? even in Lagos.
How
many standard hospitals
a major challenge.
do we
but
have?
the challenge is that you will find some of them dying in general hospitals. So,
well,
it's not just going to be.
Some don't have oxygen.
In fact, in general hospital, they will even tell you to go to one private hospital.
Most of the general hospitals.
Okay.
Yes.
Because of time.
We'll have to leave it there. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Dan Ekere. Thank you very much. He's a lecturer at University of Lagos, and of course, Olayinka Ola Daniels, a lawyer and a public affairs commentator. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.